Welcome to the bold analysis. The events of Nyeri today, that unfolded in Nyeri today, is a very good explanation to the leaders of this country that you cannot overpower the power of the people. And sometimes, and we said just some few months ago, when the young people of this country raised their voices and said enough is enough, they were silenced, and some of them were found dead in the forest, and some lifeless bodies were actually collected from pit latrines. But that cannot kill the spirit. I want us to go to Nyeri and look at this incident on how the residents overpowered the police, and the security agencies that were deployed there had to take cover. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. I continue to say thank you very much for having supported our November project. The update of that project is we managed to build the house, but for this week they are doing the plaster work. So I will be back in Watamu to officially hand over the house to the two brothers, that is Edison and Harrison, when it is complete. And I continue to say asanteni sana. Limuru incident where goons disrupted a funeral event that was being attended by the deputy president, the second deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, in that venue really shocked the nation. And since then, Rigathi has never gone out. He was supposed to be in Molo and Embu, and all those were cancelled. But after that incident, it was so clear that the goons were targeting none other than Rigathi Gachagua. And there was a question of where was the police. So two summon letters were dispatched by security agencies. One was for the sitting member of parliament in Limuru, who was summoned and went to the DCI headquarters on Kiambu Road. But then, in a shocking twist, Karungo Dangwa, the Kiambu member of parliament, was actually summoned, and he was summoned in Nyeri, where the incident happened in Kiambu. So observers were asking, why did we send Karungo Dangwa? Why did we summon Karungo Dangwa to Nyeri and not Kiambu? Of course, a quick explanation about that is that he knew, and the state knew very well, that if you summon Karungo Dangwa to the DCI headquarters, he would easily mobilize people to go there and stand in solidarity with him, and they would take that drama as politicians like doing. And so Nyeri is Rigathi Gachagua's staff. So probably those who would have gone to stand with Karungo Dangwa just Rigathi supporters. So it would have given Karungo Dangwa political capital if he's summoned in Kiambu Road, and will be able to bring in his constituents. So, okay, my own thinking could be that was it. Now, I wanted to look, today he was to appear. He appeared to the DCI headquarters in Nyeri, and look at the explanation of what he says, why he was actually summoned.
They said they are investigating malicious damage that might have occurred or happened at the barrio in Bibirioni in Limuru. They are also investigating assault of some people, who is us. And they were inviting me here to come and give them information that might help them to find the culprit or to do their investigation. So I was summoned here not as a suspect, not as an accused person, but we have realized that they have now turned the whole scenario. They are now saying that we are suspects, that we caused harm, we assaulted people, we damaged property, and our cars, we are the victims. But we are saying we are not going to fight with the officers, the junior officers, whom are just executing their mandate. We are not going to fight with them, but we will fight with the person. Ile pepo mbaya zaidi, hiyo ndio tutapigana nayo. ambayo inaleta hii mambo yote, ndio tunyamaze sisi watu wa Mlima Kenya, sisi wale ambao tunapigania watu wetu, ndio tuwe na uoga, tuache kuwa mbele, tuache yale mambo ambayo tumekuwa tukifanya, kwenda kwa mazishi, kwenda kwa harusi, kwenda kukutana na watu wetu. Lakini tunasema hatuogopi, hatutaacha na tutaendelea hivyo. Kufika hapa, ni vizuri niongee hivyo kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Tulikuwa tumeitwa tukuje, labda tuko na habari wakitualika hapa ambayo inaweza wasaidia na uchunguzi. Lakini sisi tunasema, sisi habari gani tunawapatia? Sisi wenyewe ni victims, sisi wenyewe gari zetu ziliharibiwa, wengine wetu wakakuwa abducted, wengine wetu hata wakulala nyumbani siku hiyo, alafu unakuja kuniambia nikusaidie, ati ndio unisaidie vile utaona mimi gari yangu ilipigwa ama haikupigwa. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema hatuogopi, ama afisa hapa hatupigani na wao, na tumesikizana na tutaendelea kufika kwa DCI, sababu wametuambia badala ya kufika hapa leo, tulifika hapa asubuhi saa 4, saa 5 ikielekea. Baada ya kutoka kule Kiambu, tukakuja kaunti ya Nyeri, wametuambia tena turudi Nairobi. Swali ni je, kwa nini wangetuambia tuende Nairobi hiyo siku ya Alhamisi ama siku hiyo ya Ijumaa ambayo walituambia tukuje hapa Nyeri?
So after this, they came out, and when he was there, he was accompanied by Gathoni Mushomba and amongst other rebel leaders against President Ruto from Mount Kenya. And outside just the court, Gathoni Mushomba issued this statement.
Only for Mwadi to be dumped somewhere in Gong Road, saa 10 ya asubuhi. Only after that, Mwadi's friends and associates wenye wanafanya kazi na wao wakashikwa. Vijana wadogo wadogo wa kuuza mandazi, vijana wadogo wadogo wa kuuza kahawa wanashikwa, wanapelekwa kwa DCI, wanaambiwa waandike statement kwa nini walikuwa wanaenda mazishi. Kwani siku hizi tunakuwa tunaomba ruhusa kwenda mazishi? Tunakuwa tunaomba ruhusa kwenda kanisa? No, it's getting out of hand, and that is why we are here. And we need the world to know what is going on. People are getting intimidated every day, abducted every day. Jana nilipigiwa simu na mama Akorwai akaniambia mtoto wake alipotea hivyo tu. Mtoto anaitwa Shege, alipotea tu hivyo, hajapatikana for about 6 months now, and nobody speaks, nobody is bothered. Mama Shege hana nguvu ya kuongea, sisi ambao tuko na nguvu ya kuongea lazima tunaongea. Kwa hivyo tunasema si lazima twende kotini ndio tuwe uhuru, sababu katiba yetu ya Kenya imetupatia nafasi ya kuwa huru katika Kenya yetu. We are not going to be running to court every day to get orders to allow us to go to church, to get orders to go to funerals, to get orders to go to weddings. No, the Kenyan constitution has given us our rights, and our rights must be protected. And therefore I want to address the police of this country. I want to remind them that the Constitution of Kenya has given them the mandate to do their work, but they are not mandated to interfere with religious and cultural and social activities of Kenyans. Hatutaacha kwenda mazishi kwa sababu polisi wanatuchika. Hatutaacha kwenda kanisa kwa sababu wahubiri wanapatwa ama sisi tunapatwa. That must stop. Number 2, Kenya is now becoming a police state where everything has to be sanctioned by the police. Niliambiwa na rafiki yangu mwingine hapa amefanya pre-wedding pale Kiambu, ati akaletewa barua na DC kuambiwa ati usifanye pre-wedding party. Hatutakuwa tunafanya pre-weddings kwa sababu this is a police issue now. No. Kwa hivyo tumekuja hapa kuprotest, we are protesting. Karongo must be allowed to serve the people of Kiambu. If he has any issue to do with the police, he deserves to go to.
And after that statement, the whole team, the convoy went direct to Nyeri town on their way to Nairobi. So word had spread that Karungo Dhangwa was going to be, the convoy was heading to Nyeri, or rather the tension that will be there. And what they decided to do, police took cover in Nyeri town. Police took cover in Nyeri town and tried to rebel, or rather disperse the crowd that was gathering to listen to the rebel leaders in Nyeri. Okay, so look at these videos. So when they started, I think they underestimated the fact that because, you know, Nyeri it was only Bandera that had been protesting. So Nyeri was relatively quiet. So they expected, okay, Mandera is also Nyeri, but the Nyeri town was relatively quiet. So they were expected that they will be able. Now, it is reported that the residents and the people that came out in their numbers overpowered security officers and they had to retreat, as now the crowd bursted in Ruto must go chants. Now, two things. Someone would have expected Rigathi to come out, and Rigathi did not come out. I saw and I think it is sometimes, we once said that sometimes even in a battle, you know when to hit and when to retreat. After what happened in Limuru, it is very clear that Rigathi Gachagua was a target. You cannot doubt that. If we watched that video, the country, most of us watched that video, Rigathi Gachagua was a target. And if those were young people, those goons who were there were baying for Rigathi's blood. And having been in these corridors, he understands that sometimes the state can go hard on you. And they had really gone hard on Rigathi. So it was also right for him not to come out at this critical time. That would be his place. And if something was to happen to him, I can tell you that that would be the venue. So he did not come out. Of also not going to with Nyeri, of course, those who sent the dispatch to Nyeri, those who dispatched the summon of Karunga to Nyeri were also running the Nyeri politics. That, okay, in Nyeri, so Rigathi will come out because it is in Nyeri. So he will come as the person who is defending Nyerians, or just defending the Mount Kenya issue. Lastly, I think, if you look at the case on what is there, Rigathi said in one of the interviews with NTV that he's supposed to lodge the complaint to police, but it is the police who are not in that venue at that time. So what do you make of this? Because there is a trend that we should worry the political class, and it should worry the state. There is a blunder of suppressing pro-Rigathi masses in Mount Kenya through different means. When Rigathi went to Murang'a and get crushed to that event, the microphone went off and the artist found himself in very uncomfortable situation. Things didn't really go well and the people turned against that artist. And the Mount Kenya caravan, peace caravan that was supposed to be there, actually was halted. It never continued. And then today, the police are being deployed to control, or rather to suppress people that just wanted to show their support and their solidarity with Karunga Odang'ma. And I feel a little bit disturbed that we've resorted to using the police to suppress the masses. It's a very dangerous move. It's a very dangerous move. In fact, we are planting a seed that when it germinates, it's a tree that we may not be able to cut its roots. I really want to agree. And as we talk about, even as we want to manage our politics and want to manage how people relate to government, but we should be a little bit careful not to have an overreach. Because with the police in the street, it's normally a different ballgame altogether. With the police in the street, you bring the human rights violations in it. Excessive use of force. And so with that, it doesn't really work. And why am I saying that probably it's a blunder? It's a blunder because the distress, when you oversight the street through the police, it might cause distress, the voter distress. The voter distress might actually turn out to be a low voter turnout in 2027 ballot. And that distress might not be the best thing that this country really needs. We are causing unnecessary tension. I want to believe that these fellows could just go to Nyeri. They could just ride through to Nyeri with their convoy, be allowed to do their thing. They do what they want to do. They talk to their people. Then they just walk out and go their way. I don't think that would have cost any. I don't think the government would have lost anything if they would have allowed that meeting to proceed. But I don't know what kind of intelligence that we do take. Then we say, no, we are doing this, we are not doing this. Sometimes we make those decisions and they're not, to me, they're not really led by intelligence. Number two, emergence of combative camps. If you're keen, sometimes politicians will try to create the human shield. Leave alone that one for Rigathi. That for you to go somewhere, you must create some majority around you. Of course, there is an organic majority, the majority that revolves around Raila Odinga, and then there is that mobilized majority. The mobilized majority that are supposed to shield the politician, we are likely to see camps emerging. I don't want to use the exaggerated words of Mungiki and all that, but for me, it is combative camps. Combative camps will make the region unbearable. And I want to believe, and I want to applaud Rigathi Gachagua for one thing. Rigathi seemed to have toned down and picked who to hit and who not to hit. He's not going the combative edge. And I want to give you an example. The day NTV was interviewing Rigathi Gachagua, Raila Odinga had attacked him. And I was telling a friend, just a peer, a very good senior member of this channel, I was telling her on phone, and she was telling me on phone that I wish Rigathi just keeps off responding to Baba. He should just keep off that, what Baba have said, because they know what he wants to say. They're already preempting how he's going to react, and they're planning on how to rebuttal. So he should actually stop talking to Raila, stop responding to Raila and pick that. And I think he has picked that. He's not taking that combative edge. I can tell you, and I want to tell you, during the Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, what the fellows wanted is protest to erupt. Then from that point, they say, oh, you see, he's the person who was actually bringing the violence. The other issue is profiling leaders. When you use police, things go bad, then you want to profile other people. And it's a very dangerous move because it will embolden the Ruto rebels. In fact, I can tell you, those people who should be worried are the leaders around President Ruto from Mount Kenya, because he yote ni wao inaharibia. It's spoiling the party for them. Not even what the other people think. It's spoiling the party for those who are actually supporting President Ruto. So to me, there should be a stop to this. Thank you.